Hello everyone and welcome to TamsCraftyKnits. You may be wondering why on earth this is the first episode, when in reality it's actually not. If you're watching this video now, you will be subscribed to my new channel where I'm going to house my new podcast. From now on, all the podcast episodes will be on this channel. I do have a direct link to the playlist for some of the old episodes if you choose to watch those. I may eventually just get rid of those because obviously I've started this as my first one. I will kind of do a little bit of waffle on at the start just in case any of you, I know quite a few of you who are subscribed now. Keep in mind I'm filming this in February 2016, so you may be watching this at a different time. I know some of you have come over from my other channel, which is more of a beauty and vlog channel. I may do an occasional vlog here and there if I do some yarn related stuff, like going to the woolen mill, that kind of thing. You know, unboxings, that kind of thing, but it'll primarily be the podcast. So obviously I'm Tam. I have been crocheting for almost a year. It was April last year I think I started crocheting. I have taught myself to crochet. I started out with crocheting and then went to knitting. I've only been knitting for maybe a couple of months. Well, I should say, no, that's actually not correct. I've been attempting to teach myself to knit for a couple of months, but in all reality, like the actual proper knitting that looks decent is only about a month. So I have pretty much all knitting related projects that I'll share with you. I am going to try and have actual sections in this podcast, and I do have notes for this episode. So I'm going to share with you, if I keep looking down, I'm looking over here at my notes, so I don't want to forget anything. So I have my current works in progress. I don't have any finished objects, so I have had a lot of time to knit recently. For those of you who are totally new, I actually work in childcare, and at the moment I'm casual, but I have been given some permanent hours. I'm actually going to be doing some cleaning of where I work, so that's like after the centre finishes. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to be available for 2 other days a week for like a full day's work on the days that I'm not cleaning. So I have permanent hours, but it's more like part-time, I suppose, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so I kind of have a little bit more time than maybe other people do to kind of get their projects done. So lately I've got quite a bit done on one project in particular, and I'll share that with you in a minute. I do have an Etsy shop as well. I probably should have run through my social media to start with. I am TamsCraftyKnits everywhere. Ravelry, Instagram, Snapchat. I do have a Facebook page where I post projects that I'm currently working on, stuff that I've finished. It kind of links in with my Etsy shop as well. Of course my email is tamscraftyknits@hotmail.com. So there you go. So yes, I have that. I have some kind of things that are coming up that I'm going to be working on. Actually didn't bring one of them over here. Also a little bit of stash too. And I don't really need much, as you can see. This behind me, pretty much most of that is next door neighbour's dogs. They always bark when I try and film. All of them except for the last 2 shelves are my stash. I have a little bit of stash floating around in here. Most of that is kind of older projects that I'm storing up there. Project bags, my fibre stuff. Some of that up there is dyeing bits and pieces, and then I have the rest of the dyeing stuff at the top of that shelf. I am hoping to actually get a cupboard to actually store everything and get rid of these two. So eventually, now that I have more permanent hours, that'll more likely be a possibility. I am also saving up for a Ashford Kiwi tube spinning wheel, so eventually later on in the year you may see some spinning stuff too. So my current works in progress. As I said, I have taught myself to knit. I'm slowly making progress. I'm definitely in no way an expert. My nan tried to teach me when I was, I'm sure I would have been like 12 or 13 or something, and it just ended up in a big huge damn mess. So I started out with crochet because I thought that would be a little bit easier than knitting. To me, I kind of feel like crochet is a little bit easier than knitting, you know, when you're learning, but once you get the hang of it, sometimes I find knitting patterns easier to read than crochet patterns. I don't know. I mean, I do both obviously, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If you do both, let me know which one you find easier. So the project that I have the most done on is living in my Knit and Stitch Bits Wonder Woman bag. I love this bag, it's one of my favourites. And this is my Sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I freaking love this yarn. This is also my entry into Christina from Christina's Knitting Catch Up. I'll put a link to her channel down below. Go and check her out if you want to follow another Australian podcaster. She's having a deep stash cowl. It's already started obviously, and it cast off date is March 15th. I will and truly have this done by then. When the last episode that I filmed on my other channel, I was only a very small way on the ribbing. So as you can see, I was probably maybe here where my fingers are. So as you can see, I've been knitting like a mad woman on this. I love how the colours spiral up the hat. It's just awesome. This yarn, this is what it looks like in the cake. I'm going to move that out of the way so I don't get anything caught in the zippers or get it tangled. The yarn that I'm using is from an Etsy store called Fibre Revolution. This is the Wonderland colorway. It's their 4-ply sock yarn. It's superwash, merino and nylon. So I love that yarn. It's beautiful. And that, I think that was one of the first of a few hand-dyed yarns that I'd actually purchased. So I just decided to use that. And I'm really happy with it. I have, I think maybe 6 or 7 inches to go, and then I can start doing the decreases. So I'm knitting these on 3mm Caspian fixed needles. They're the ones from Knit Picks, so really happy with that. Hopefully I can get it finished maybe by the time of my next podcast. I think I'm going to try to make my podcasts upload Mondays. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully that will pan out and I'll be able to upload them every Monday. I was doing it over the weekends, but I think Mondays will work best. The next project is, I don't know if I've showed this to you guys yet. I picked this up off Etsy a little while ago. I will link the shop down below. But this is housing kind of stash enhancement slash a project. So I have, and if you don't live in Australia you won't know about this yarn. This is the Modavira Not Just Socks. It's their 4-ply. This is 50% superwash wool, 20% polyamide and 25% bamboo. The colourway is Autumn. I haven't done a lot on these, and I think I did stuff up the ribbing, but no one's really going to notice, so I'm just going to keep going. As you can see, I have done a very small amount. I haven't worked on these for a few days, so yeah, I think I messed up. I think I've purled, knitted where I was supposed to purl and ended up with 4 knit stitches, but anyway. And I just, the yarn itself has some brown in it as well. So this is actually, I don't know if you guys will see it from back there, but that's kind of what it's supposed to turn out like. And this is the berry colorway of that, so it kind of gives you an idea of how it's supposed to stripe, but we'll see. And I'm knitting those on my higher. I keep these, I've got both needles in here because I was thinking that I might cast them on at the same time, but I think I'll just do one at a time. These are my US zeros or 2mm higher sharps. I picked these up from eBay, so a lot of people recommended these. I'm also going to if I can speak, try the Chargoose, because I've heard good things about those as well. And I'm not going to pull out the yarn because it's a huge ball of yarn. I actually was able to wind the whole thing into one cake, which was awesome. The next project I have in another Knit and Stitch Bits bag. Love her bags, cannot recommend them enough. This is by Tin Can Knits. I believe this is a free pattern. I'm pretty sure. This is the super simple cow. It's printed in black and white, so you may not be able to see it that well. It's just, honestly, the Sockhead hat and this cow, if you're wanting projects to knit, just, you know, you're learning to knit, try these out. They are so simple to follow. They knit up pretty quickly, and I just suggest them. I believe both of them are free patterns. I will check that and put that in the description box. I'm using the Ms. Click Clack Darling Road DK. This is a superwash merino in Turkish Delight. This is what her cards look like. Another awesome Etsy seller, Australian dyer. She's awesome. Check her out. This is, oops, I'm getting all tangled. What have I done here? Did that work? Yes. So this is what the yarn looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous. There's greys, blues, pinks, purples, teal. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I do have two cakes of this. I'm hoping to be able to get one of these out of this cake, but we'll see how we go. So I have almost, actually I have, if I pay attention to what I'm actually doing, I have finished the first repeat, and I'm on to the second one. I'm up to, it's the start of my row there. So yeah, I cast on a few more stitches than it actually says in the pattern, because I didn't want it as tight kind of around my neck. So I just don't like things too tight. So I love how the colours are coming up in this yarn. It's just beautiful. It's really, really nice to knit with. So if you're looking for some really nice hand-dyed yarn, I would suggest Ms. Click Clack and check out her Darling Road DK. I haven't used her fingering weight yarn, but now that I'm getting into knitting, I will hope to knit some soon. But I do have another colourway called You're Not the Boss of Me, and it was a toss-up between this and that to make this cow. So we'll see if I can get one cow out of this ball of yarn, and I may make one in the other colourway too. We'll see. But I'm really liking the yarn and the pattern, so yeah. And then you will need your row counter for that, because you have to do a certain amount of rows of purling, a certain amount of knit. But if you know how to purl and you know how to knit, then you can make the Sockhead hat and this cow. Easy, easy, easy stuff. So, oh, I better put the pattern back in the bag. Might be a good idea. So I think that is pretty much it. And I will say, A thank you to Pam, who is PJ Matilda. I'll link her channel down below. Go and subscribe to her if you're not subscribed, because she's awesome. Awesome. I love her videos. And I love her snaps on Snapchat too. She's hilarious. Pam, I know you're watching. I know you're watching. Yes, because she helped me out a little bit with the socks, so I kind of was less daunted by knitting my first pair of socks. So thanks for your help, Pam. I am slowly getting there on those. Next up, I will talk about my future works in progress. This is also a little bit of stash again. This, I don't know, I think it is still, yes, I'm pretty sure it is still on sale. This is an acrylic yarn I got from Spotlight. Those of you who are overseas, Spotlight is kind of like Joann's Michaels, kind of an Australian equivalent. I was asked by my hairdresser, who was having a baby in April, to knit or crochet some little black baby hats. So this yarn, it's an 8-ply, was 5 100-gram balls for $10. So I just got 5 of them because obviously they're baby hats. I'm not going to use up a ton of yarn, but I will also be making myself 1 or 2 hats to wear to work. You know, obviously wintertime, you're outside with the children, so and we're allowed to wear them if they're black. So that's what I got that for. So I'm going to start work on those this week. Then I'm also making my mum a hat, and I didn't bring over the yarn, it's over there. I will insert a photo here of the yarns that I'm going to use. I picked them up from the Bendigo Woolen Mill. I'm still deciding what pattern to use for her hat. She's like, there's no rush, it's not going to be winter anytime soon, but I kind of want to get it done so it is done well and truly before winter. It's a red, bright red yarn and like a tweedy kind of colour. They go really, really well together, so I'm going to knit her a hat. She wants a slouchy hat with a pom-pom, so if either you can suggest any crochet or knitting patterns that meet those requirements using a DK weight yarn, feel free to suggest them in the comments. Excuse me, because I would love to hear about them, because I troll Ravelry and I can't make up my mind. Any help there is appreciated. Next, I do have my Etsy shop, as I said. I have been putting some stitch markers in there. They look very similar to these ones. At the moment I only have ones that have the jump rings, so they're obviously for knitting, but I do have some lobster claw clasps that I am going to be doing some crochet ones soon as well. So I will have kind of a section here for kind of like a shop update. Also today my mum picked up a magazine, and it actually had this, it's kind of just a general craft magazine, and it had this bag making essentials magazine in there. She wants me to make her one of these bags. We'll see how that goes, but it has some really good ideas for like project bag type stuff, and it'll be really handy. So I'm gonna hopefully attempt a few projects out of there, possibly Etsy, we'll see. And I have found a new supplier for some undyed yarn, so I'm going to try out some of that and hopefully get some more hand dyed yarn in my shop. I do have a few skeins in there already, but I do want to do more fingering weight yarn because I'm a little bit obsessed with fingering weight yarn at the moment, and we'll get more into that in a minute. But yeah, so once I have a few more bits and pieces to show you, I will so moving on to my stashing for those. I already showed you the black yarn. I did pick up a few things from the thrift store, and I will show you those as well. don't forget to check out your local thrift stores because I found some amazing stuff in there. Awesome stuff. But first I'm going to mention another Etsy dyer. Can you tell I spend a lot of time on Etsy? And can you see in my stuff? Some of this stuff is mine, obviously. If you've been on my Etsy shop, you've probably seen that. But a lot of the stuff in here is... Oh, there is a bit of acrylic in there, but most of it is Etsy stuff. There's a little bit from Knit Picks in there. All my Gilmore Girls yarns are over in a project bag. I have not worked on my sock yarn blanket, and I also haven't worked on my Gilmore Girls blanket at all because I've been kind of obsessed with my other projects. But another podcaster who has started an Etsy shop is Christina from Christina's Knitting Catch Up, and her Etsy shop is called Cutiful Yarns, and I had been watching her talk about her hand-dyed yarns on her channel, and I knew from looking at the ones that she showed that I had to have one. Yeah, like I needed one. But you know, let's support our fellow podcasters, especially when they have cute yarn. So this is the fingery weight yarn. It's a 75% merino, superwash merino and 25% nylon. 100 grams, 400 meters. This is just called Blues and Purples. It's actually pretty accurate, and it's so soft and squishy. It smells like a sheep. Come on, I know you guys all smell your yarn, especially when it's merino. The funny thing is, I can't stand being in a shearing shed with the smelly sheep and the sheep poo. I just, no. But I can smell this till the cows come home. No. But yes, this is eventually going to be a pair of socks. I also have Alison from Flock and Needle. I really shouldn't look in her shop. I should not follow her on Instagram, but I do. Because she was having, and she's still having it. I'm not exactly sure when it ends. I will have to find out. I think she only has like a few skeins left anyway, but she had quite a few of her skeins were on sale for $20. Most of them were usually about 30 something. And there's this one that I'd been eyeing off for a while. There was 3 that I was eyeing off, and I was like, I have some money in my PayPal account, I'll just get one. And then if the others are there when I get paid, then I'll get it. Well, one sold, and the other one is still there as far as I know, so I'll see. But yes, I do have something coming from her shop as well, which I think I may have to turn it into another Sockhead hat. And I can see why people end up making lots of Sockhead hats. They're easy, they really show off the yarn really well as well, so I may make another one. I also had another idea, kind of just reminded me of it. There's some yarn from the Bendigo Woolen Mills, it's sock yarn. I don't know, no, it's all up there, that I was going to use for my actual first pair of socks, and I started using it. I didn't like how it was knitting up. I don't know, I just didn't like it. So I have three skeins of yarn, and my idea is that I'm going to knit those into Sockhead hats for charity. So I'm thinking that any yarn that I come across, whether it's I buy an acrylic yarn and it just doesn't work for me, or I don't particularly like it for the project, or I have like those sock yarns that I don't particularly like for socks, I'm going to turn them into Sockhead hats or hats of some sort for charity. I don't know which charity yet, I'm not quite sure, but that's my idea with that. So I'm not going to be wasting my yarn, I'm going to knit it for charity. Also, I decided to use one of my project bags that I made. Oh, Mickey Mouse. This has all of my notions in it, like literally all my crochet hooks, my needles. Actually no, I think my needles are in there. I think they're in with my socks. My pom-pom makers, like literally everything. I shoved everything in here. Scissors, you can see. So that's my Notion bag. I pretty much take it everywhere. Oops. And I'm going to be getting, I've got a few things coming up where I will have a lot of time to wait, like appointments, so get a lot of knitting done. The other things that I picked up, because I'm getting myself off track, is the latest edition of Simply Crochet. Excuse me. There's a few buttons in here I like, not as many, but yeah, I find this magazine lately is kind of a bit hit and miss, but I always pick it up anyway. And it comes with this free crochet hook gauge. I don't typically use these kinds of things. Pretty much all my crochet hooks have it kind of embossed on it, so it's not going to rub off or anything, because I use the clover ones. So I don't really know what I'll do with that. Then on to what I picked up at the thrift store. Lately in my thrift store, I've been finding these arrow needles. I actually saw in one of my local yarn shops the other day that they actually still sell this brand. They had the fixed circulars. So obviously it's still around, but I want to learn to knit on double points. So I have some 5mm arrow ones and size 9 ones as well. And I also have a pair of fixed circulars. But I picked up the 4.5mm and the 3mm. So I'm hopefully going to learn to knit on double points. That's kind of one of my things I want to do this year. If you follow me on Snapchat, you would have seen both of these earlier. I took the cover of this book because it was kind of ratty. This is the family crochet book. It was printed in 1971. There is some pretty hilarious, I should have actually bookmarked some of the things in here. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the stuff is really good, and I'll definitely have a go at you know, making it. And you can definitely make, like, you know, they'll translate to now, you know. Some stuff is definitely out of date, and some things are very 70s. There was one here, see if I can find it, that I couldn't stop laughing. I said to my mum, like, I'm gonna make you a pair of these, and she's like, I don't think I want them. So yeah, I told her I would make her a pair of these pants. She wasn't thrilled, but that was $1. Then I also found this. It's called Get Knitting. And yes, it's really, really old. I'm guessing it might have been like a kind of subscription thing. And it has, let's see, how many issues are in this one? Surely there's not 26. Oh no, there must be 26. And this is what the covers actually look like, but I mostly got it to learn different techniques and things like that, so it seems to be really handy for that. So, and again, they only charged me $1 for that. So lastly, before my camera shuts off on me because it's flashing, a couple of podcasts that I want to mention that I've recently discovered and caught up on their podcasts. First up is The Grocery Girls. The Grocery Girls are from Canada. It's Jodie and Tracy. They only have a couple of episodes out at the moment, but they're really good. Definitely go and check them out. I really enjoy their podcast. They're very energetic. They get really excited and passionate about what they're making, and I can't remember who. Someone else mentioned their podcast and I went over to check them out and subscribed after the first like 5 minutes. So definitely check them out. The other one is the Brooklyn Knitfolk podcast that is hosted by Jacqueline. She's a graphic designer from New York, obviously, Brooklyn. Yeah, I really enjoy her podcast. She has quite a few episodes. I can't remember exactly how many, but I really enjoy her podcast as well. She is a relatively new knitter, and by new I mean maybe like a year or so, and yeah, she's making quite a few shawls and other bits and pieces, hats, things like that. So definitely go on over and check out her channel as well. I think because I'm in kind of a newer knitter as well, I kind of am enjoying kind of seeing her progression as well through knitting. So if you're new to knitting as well, definitely check out her channel. Even if you're not, go and subscribe as well, because I think she's really awesome too. So that is the, I guess, first episode of TamsCraftyKnits on this channel. I am just going to start from episode 1 again. Like I said, I will have a link to the playlist for the old episodes. They're really not all that great, but I'm hoping kind of having a new format, having the specific you know, breakdowns and things like that will help a little bit, and I'm hoping to be able to eventually get up to having hour-long episodes, excuse me, but I think because I am the only host of the podcast, I find when there's more than one host of a podcast, things seem to go on longer. I guess it just depends on preference. Some people don't like to watch fairly long podcasts. Definitely leave your feedback below if you want to see longer, shorter podcasts, you know, whatever you like, whatever your viewing preferences are, leave them in the comments section, because I would love to hear from you guys. I want to be showing stuff on this channel that you guys really want to see. I will, as I said, be doing other videos here and there, maybe some vlogs at the woolen mill. Next time I go, I'll try and sneak my camera in. Unboxings, obviously when I get my spinning wheel, order from, you know, overseas, that kind of thing, I will definitely share those with you as well. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you're an older subscriber, you've been here for a while, I really appreciate you guys coming over and subscribing to this channel and watching the podcast on here. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.